Nick O'Connell, and he's Aaron Hemke. I'm Craig Okerfus, and this is Not Another Shooting Show. Tonight, we go to Philadelphia International Airport, where Friday, there is an ND, not of a shotgun. Secret Service spokesman Andy G. Whatever told the Associated Press, according to internal reports, agent was traveling in an unmarked car when he accidentally discharged a shotgun. No, a gun, not a shotgun. Shortly before 9 a.m., said Philadelphia police.
I think it's actually pronounced Anthony Google Nuts is the Secret Service spokesman. Yeah, and he described it as a negligent discharge with air quotes. I don't know what the air quotes do for it, but that's important, I think, to mention.
I think that's just what they do when they don't know what they're doing.
It's the passive voice once again.
If it was accidental, it would have been a 320, but negligent means he was actually messing with it.
Spinning the gun around in the patrol car outside the airport.
Trying to take a selfie or the lap pose, pumping himself in the leg. Of course. Always police.
Bottom page of practice score. It's always the cops.
But even the Secret Service is capable of doing this.
Well, what is the Secret Service if not just a gussied up cop?
Higher paid LE.
I guess so. So fortunately, there was no impact to the Protectees movement. So Jill Biden was not inconvenienced, thankfully. So she was able to get to whatever it was.
Speaking of no impact, Ace VR has a Shadow 2 handset.
Yay!
So what are your thoughts on that? For the ones that do shoot a Shadow 2.
Do you suppose the Ace VR Shadow 2 handset is drop safe?
Probably not, because if you drop it, the handset will probably bust on itself.
Just like
I don't know about your experience with the Ace, but I have one. I haven't played it a whole bunch as of late, and the reasoning is the controller moves in the handset. So, like on a draw, my the grip just changes, and I don't know where the dot's going to be every time I present the gun.
I mean, that's pretty accurate with my shooting, actually. So maybe that's a feature, not a bug.
It's a way to correct your grip.
Truly.
I think as long as you don't Cajuниze it, it'll be fine.
Whoa. Is the Shadow 2 handset Cajunized? That's another important question.
Do we have to go hammer down on the Shadow 2 handset?
That's a good question. We need to get Ace VR on the phone right now to answer this. Speaking of getting on the phone, get on your phone. Patreon.com, Not Another Shooting Show. $3.57 a month gets you access to even more rambling. Just throwing that out there.
Two full episodes a week. Speaking of episodes, Nick, did you have an episode this weekend with some RO class?
I did have an episode. I had 2 episodes of RO class. Normally you only get 1 8-hour day, 1 4-hour day. I got 2 8-hour days in the RO class, so I don't want to say that I'm the best RO in the region now, but pretty close. I'm pretty close.
Got a little more training than everyone else did.
That's right. They saw me coming and they said, "This guy, yeah, we gotta run this class a little long." So, yeah, seems like
give some added education.
Is that because you are better, or because you need more training because you're that bad?
It's because I'm that bad.
Okay.
Um,
Just
you
gotta
know,
clear that up.
I cannot conceptualize a non-scoring border. Um, and I'm a serial rule breaker, so I was just full of hypotheticals, sitting there, just like, well, what if, what if, and yeah, no, it was a good class. Seems like Thomas Howard is probably going to get done with his RMI, or whatever acronym they're using. I don't know. I just show up.
Yeah, RMI.
Yeah, so it seems like we'll probably have somebody local to the Middle West here to do some RO trainings in the near future, which is a great resource to have, especially somebody with as much major match experience as Mr. Howard. Um, you know, my only gripe with the class, and it's something that I run into when I you know instruct on the occasion that I do instruct a class, is that you know, Thomas is, super passionate, obviously, about the rule book and making sure that, all of this knowledge that he's worked really hard to get, he can pass on as much of it as possible to his students, which is, great. Unfortunately, that can add to the time, like the length of time you're in class. But I think he's aware of that. I think he's working on that. And at any rate, there was nothing he shared in class that wasn't relevant to, what we were learning. He just has that much knowledge that it just took a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
So,
he'll be a.
question for you. I remember when I took my RO class about a decade or so ago. Did you guys have a lot of questions between touching versus breaking the perf? Because I remember a lot of people were having so many different difficulties understanding the difference.
Yeah, there was a lot of that, and especially like there's a good portion of the class that was steel challenge shooters and like pretty new shooters that hadn't been to a USPSA match before. So without kind of seeing how that scoring is applied, there's definitely a lot of questions like, well, why would we really care about that? Well, something's got to be an alpha, something's got to be a delta, something's got to be a mic, and the overlay process and those non-scoring borders are how we determine that. So I mean, there were just tons of questions, especially when it came to like the non-scoring border and how to set up partial targets to where they're not a nightmare to score. That took a ton of time. They have so many examples too to work through on their incredibly long, incredibly dense PowerPoint. That you there's a lot to go over.
That probably could be an online education.
Yeah, I think leaning in, because there's already an online portion of the class. I think leaning into that a little bit heavier, and then having a longer on-range portion would be better, because there's still a big sticking point on how to actually use Practice Core to score. And I think, obviously Practice Core is kind of a interesting app to work with. We've all dealt with Practice Core and the learning curve with it. So having a little bit more time, I think, for students to use Practice Core would probably be better than going into the minutia of scoring,
because
edge
Steel
perf
Challenge
hits.
is basically just hit a button for the time and roll on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will have you know that I was incredibly evil in the live fire portion. Out of the 14 targets we had on the stage, I did perf hits on 12 of them. And then on the very last target, I purposely shot the wall and then argued for a double on the bottom target. And because the RO was so new, I won my double call, like a real sleazebag. So
That's
be
fitting
evil
for
in
you.
the RO class. It's good. It's good.
So you mentioned that you teach too. So what kind of classes do you teach?
So for a while I was a like a working foreman at a truck shop. So I would teach like college interns how to turn wrenches in a variety of fashions, and then every now and then I'll stand in as a guest instructor for basic firearms stuff. So I'm looking to buy a gun. How should I hold it? That kind of stuff. Don't point it at
The guy
yourself.
who just said that he sucks at holding a gun.
Well, yeah. I mean, I never said I was qualified to do it, but they'll let anybody,
okay.
market themselves as an instructor.
They let anyone teach, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're teaching on turning wrenches. Is that like teaching them how to not have it pop off and hit them in the face, or do you teach them the right technique so it hits them in the face every time?
So the first thing I do is I make sure they do what I tell them and not what I'm doing.
It's a good lesson.
Yeah, it is a good lesson. So for those that didn't know, I suffered a life-altering industrial accident recently. I had some heavy engine component fall on my face, knocked 3 of my teeth out a couple weeks ago. So Aaron is making sure that I didn't pass that on to my, my darling college interns, most of whom deserve to get teeth knocked out.
Before or after Old Fort?
Before Old Fort, like 2 weeks before Old Fort. Yeah.
I just thought you were naturally that ugly.
Actually, the teeth they put in are straighter than the ones that I took out.
Yeah, I was gonna say it probably actually improved him.
Yeah. Unfortunately for you guys, I'm a way more handsome now. So.
Hey, speaking of Old Fort, of course, you guys went down there, a bunch of Omaha peeps, and then several of us KC peeps went down there and squadded together for the first day. And there was something that we talked about on the way home. There was it you, Austin, Steven, and Heidi, and how you guys talked and developed stages and how you guys came in on no shoots, like that's a 10-yard no shoot, like half an A zone. Why? Like I even think you said like how much A zone do you need to shoot? Like, and just talking about that and talking with people that constantly train together, I think is a very good thing, because if you hear one person say something like, oh, they're so much better or whatever, but then you hear 4, 5, 6 people talking the same lingo and you're like, I didn't even think about coming in on that because there's a no shoot under it. I got to stop being a pussy. And here in the Kansas City area, we're getting organized practices together to where we could actually start dogging on each other and pushing each other, kind of like the Oklahoma City. I mean, not Oklahoma City, Omaha guys do. So what are your thoughts on talking with people outside of your own club and how they train?
I mean, Old Fort especially is so awesome because, it's a 2-day match that's like no money to go to at the very beginning of the season. You don't have to spend major match money to get there. The Airbnb is cheap. And you can shoot, the same 10 stages 2 days in a row. So you really get to kind of flesh out your training strategy, especially for like the early season. So getting to run into other shooters, they're doing, everybody that was there was doing the same thing we were. Like, this is the South Carolina sexual, or South Carolina sexual for broke people, right?
Right. It was,
the typo
stays.
Yeah, $60 for 20 stages of shooting. Like, that's an incredible deal. But and in the past I've squatted with people down in the Oklahoma area, like John Luke, and we've talked about our training strategy, and it's such a valuable opportunity to talk to like those different sects of shooters that are in those little training enclaves, because every club I feel like has like the people that train and then the people that just kind of show up. And we've been super fortunate, in the past couple years in particular, getting like a good contingent of people that are regularly training. So on like a given day at ENGC, you go down there and Heidi's, training, or Owen's training, or, me and Steven are training, or, maybe Lane's there training if you're there early in the morning. And he's not super grumpy and he'll let you shoot with you or shoot with him. But
And
yeah, I mean,
only having one club like you guys do up there in Omaha, I could see how like that's beneficial just because everyone goes there. Here in the Kansas City area, we have pretty much 4 clubs that people are kind of spread across. So just going there and seeing someone train, you just don't see it unless it's organized. So that is something I'm starting to do the first and third Thursday. We're going out and we're going to start pushing each other. And kind of what I'm doing is if you help set up, you're more likely to get and not really invited. I mean, you're going to sign up, but get past and get into that 10 people that we have allocated to go ahead and train. And our bays are 30 yards, 40 yards wide. So you could have 2 or 3 people shooting at the same time. So
yeah, that's something I should think about doing with out in Grand Island, because obviously we've got space, we've got plenty of stuff going on. Our local club isn't super big. We don't have a lot of people that really come out. I mean, what did we have, Nick? Last weekend when you came out, I think we had 17, which was quite a bit more attendance than we've seen in the last couple of years. But yeah, if we got something going on out there, doing like a group training thing, that would probably help everyone. Because I mean, it's a pretty big divide with the shooters we've got, just because we don't see each other outside of matches.
Yeah. Speaking of attendance, 2 years ago, our attendance was about 25 would be a good day. Last year we averaged about 43, and we had 63 sign up, 58 show on our March match. How's your attendance? Has it really spiked, or?
Ours looks like it might be, going off of that match. Next month we've got, I think, like 6, but we usually get a lot of entries within the couple of days leading up to the match. And I know none of the Omaha people are going to be here because all you guys are going to be jerks and go to the dark match and have a lot of fun up there and not spend time with us. But yeah, our attendance has been really low ever since COVID. We were seeing 40 to 50 before COVID hit, and then we just haven't recovered.
Yeah, right now we have 26 already signed up for our April match.
Let's see. Our March match was cold and miserable, and we were lucky to have 26 people come out. Wait, hold on. Let me double check that's. Oh wait, no, we had 45 come out. Sorry, I was looking at only Carry Optics, but 45 total. Which, man, I wish we could just combine Carry Optics and Limited Optics already, because that's our whole club.
It absolutely needs to be.
Like,
Yeah.
if you want to kill Carry Optics, that's fine. Whatever. I'm not emotionally attached to it. I'll shoot LO.
I mean, hell, I was looking at. I gotta find it. I was looking at the entries for Area 3 so far this year, and there is 202 registered so far. 62 of those are Carry Optics, and 77 are Limited Optics.
Yeah, it's over. It's over for Carry Optics.
Yeah. Carry Optics LO need to be combined. Allow single actions. If you want to have something of both, just say, okay, cool, hammer back, removal of magwell, and just combine them and go.
I don't really think it would even matter. I mean, we all see how many people shooting, 2011s with all of the fancy bells and whistles, against guys shooting Shadow 2s in a Carry Optics configuration, and you see guys doing using Shadow 2s with a Limited Optics configuration with, a magwell, single action only, whatever, and there's no difference. I mean, I shoot a 2011. My performance with my Shadow 2 is no different. They both suck, but I don't see any difference between my shooting capabilities going from one to the other.
Yeah, I
So
just
what you're
don't
saying
think...
is it's never the gun.
No. I mean, if it was the gun, then Nils would not have won Nationals with a Canic against, what, probably $1 million worth of 2011s he was going up against for the match?
I mean, hey, Shadow 2, certified duty gun, won race gun nationals in slide ride optics. So
Yeah. Against Casey Asubio running a 2011.
Yeah, 2011 was so good, you know. Just saying, maybe it would have won 2011 Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads me to my next point. The CZ Shadow 2 is the finest 2011 on the market for the least amount of money. And you can quote me on that.
Yeah, so I've been shooting Glocks past couple of years, and I pulled out my one of my Shadow 2s, and at our Tuesday night match, I wanted to run production in it. Just for something fun, something different.
Just to feel something.
I'm going to, just to feel something. And I have really fat grips on my hand, on my Shadow 2s. I think they're 80 thou bigger than the biggest lock grips. Because I wanted them
lock plus size grips.
Yes, I did the custom ones because I was shooting a Tech Sport and I wanted to be able to bounce between the two of them and have minimal difference in them. So I went really fat grips. So I'm going to play around with that. I have one cut for an optic and then one still in the production format. So I'm going to play with them for, I don't know, a couple weeks and see just to see what's a little different, because I've started to get some tendonitis in both arms from the Glocks. So I'm going to see if the Shadow 2s will help me with that.
You know, a great solution to that would be go to open.
Yeah, then you just don't have to grip the gun anymore. I've been told that open guns shoot themselves. Impossible to miss with such an expensive gun.
320 shoot themselves, but if I really want to be gay, I'll go PCC.
320s don't shoot themselves; they shoot the user.
Well, yeah, they shoot on their own. But so dark match. So your next one's April 11th. That's also the dark match up at SRSC. Registration is currently open now. But why aren't you going up? I know there's several people they're trying to get me to go up there, but I have other financial obligations to deal with, and I can't go many places.
So I would love to go. I would love to go. I want to make it up there for one of those. Mainly because I think it would be really fun to figure out some kind of light situation for my open gun, just so that I can not only piss Steven off with the sound that it makes, but also blind the fuck out of him.
It's called your comp?
Yeah, that's the only light source I need. No, I would love... Well, and I use 3N38 too, and that powder, if you know anyone who shoots open with that, you pay close attention. In broad daylight, you can see fireballs coming out of it.
It's the loud powder.
Yes, very loud powder, but it doesn't move. Yeah, no, I would love to go up to it, but I'm hosting my own match in Grand Island, and so I'm not able to get away from that, and I don't really feel like working a match and running it and then having to drive 5 hours to go to the dark match and then drive home the next day. So
yeah,
I'm hoping to go for the fall match though.
Yeah, I think the fall match is where I would be able to hopefully go up. I know there's 3 or 4 Kansas City peeps, and I actually think that there may be a set of nods or 2 floating around here that I may be able to borrow. I've never had nods on, but I think that would be kind of cool.
Oh, that's what I would need to do for that match, is get some nods and run the open gun.
You do yourself.
I know, but that would make it so much more fun.
That's a level of just fuck you wealth I just can't stand for. You know, we're gonna have to eat Aaron Heimke.
Well, hey. There's no wealth in there. I built my open gun because I'm too cheap to buy one from a builder.
Fair.
All 19
fair.
of them that you have on your
Hey.
desk right now?
Hey, there are 2 of them completed. The other ones I'll get to eventually.
Okay, how many frames do you have? How many frames, how many grips, how many slides, how many barrels?
That's what I'm trying to think about. Okay, so I've got my 2 that are built, which is my limited optics gun. That started as a limited gun, and then I converted it. And then I've got my open gun. I've got a 45 2011 frame. I've got 2 45 1911 frames. 3 45 slides. And then a
So you
9mm
have money.
slide cut for an optic.
You have money for an open guns. You just decided to sprinkle it out amongst a whole bunch of guns that will never get finished.
Oh, these have been projects since like 2020. So my open gun was built in 2020 or 2021. My LO gun was in 22. And then the other ones were project builds that I was getting ready to get started on and just have never finished buying parts for them. So eventually I'll get to them. I just have other priorities.
Yeah, that makes it better. That makes
yeah.
it sound more reasonable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, my open gun, I think it was probably about a year collecting parts for it. You know, I'd buy the frame, the slide, you know, one part here and there. So it wasn't. I think in total I paid $2,600 for my open gun, but it was stretched out over bare minimum a year and a half. And then my limited optics gun, I kind of rushed to get parts for that because I was going to school at the time, and I wanted to have that done during the winter break. So I scrambled to order everything for that and get it put together over the Christmas break, which was not fun to try and scramble to do, but it happened.
I think we need visual representation of this on r/NAS on Reddit. We go there, we have fun, we talk shit, we cross post everything. It's a good group of people. Go out there and hit it. r/NAS NASS on Reddit.
Funny you bring that up. There's also a Blue Bullets group buy on r/NAS. So if you like bullets that are blue, you know, you could maybe get yourself a little deal on
as opposed to
bullets.
white or red or anything else.
Silver, you know.
Silver, yeah. I've taken quite a few of the blue bullets. I really do like them.
Yeah, I just like the mouthfeel of the zinc bullets.
Yeah.
Speaking of, did we ever figure out if, after last weekend, if Owen preferred the taste of blue bullets or brass monkeys better?
You know, I'm not sure. That'd be a good question for Owen.
Yeah.
He's
I bet
actually
you he
spending
can't.
time with his family instead of coming here to this show.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Boo, boo. But, you know,
I
he's
bet
got
you
to spend
can't
time
taste
with
the
his
difference.
family since he spent, 4 hours at the range ignoring them today.
And ignoring the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he says it's on a road to GM, but I think it's on a road to nowhere. For Owen.
He's gonna
Welcome to
make,
the road.
He's gonna
Never
make
ending.
a good. He's gonna make a good effort, and then he's gonna grab the wrong can of ammo, and have nothing but malfunctions, or he's just going to trip over himself like he's so famous for, or just blow up the gun.
Hey,
One
we're
of
working
those
on that.
three.
We're working on that.
Speaking of bad ammo, Nick, I figured out why I was going click and no bangy down at Old Fort.
Was it the lack of a hammered fired gun?
That probably would have done it because I do run an extended firing pin spring extended firing pin in my shadows. But no, it is my Mark 7, the center bolt backed off probably about a quarter turn. So as I was seating primers, my entire tool head was shifting and not seating.
See, I had something similar like to that happen to me when I was loading rifle on my first reloading press, which was a Lee 6-pack Pro. You know, I was trying to single pass 223, which is a fucking terrible idea. If you're thinking about getting
Absolutely,
into reloading,
yes.
do not
Horrible
fucking
idea.
do this. This is
No, rifle, you
learn
have to
from
two
me.
pass.
Learn from me.
At least 2 pass.
And you like after the first pass, you should also do a little bit of quality control to make sure all the cases are the right size. Because if the cases are the wrong size, like what may happen if the tool head comes loose from the ram, like on the 6-pack Pro, there's like a bracket that holds the shell plate and that mounts to the ram. Well, the threads started to pull out of the ram. I'd assume because the bolt got a little bit loose at some point. I was really cranking ammo out on that $200 press. So right before one of ENGC's first PCSL matches, I was cranking out some ammo like the night before, and you know, case gauged some of it, but then it was like pretty late, so I was like, I'm just going to go to bed, and you know, I've shot a bunch of this, it should be fine. Well, a good portion of it, because of how the tool head was either undercharged or sized wrong, or both. So I ended up with just a bunch of cases exploding, and I ended up blowing a bolt up in an AR-15. So you know, all of the money that I was going to save reloading, it's gone. It was gone. Yeah, it went to a... I mean, I was able to reuse the upper. I actually limped that gun through the rest of the match, and just like mortared the fuck out of it. The butt peg was torn
We've
up.
all been
you know?
there in some way.
Yeah.
Is this why you 2-pass pistol brass now?
No. I 3-pass the pistol brass now. And
3?
I do that. Yep, it's 3 passes. So I'll like size deprime on the first pass, and then I will just prime it on the second pass, and then the third pass is the loading pass. There's a couple reasons for that. The first reason is that I have an antique Dillon RL 1050, so there's a little bit of slop in the crankshaft on it. So you know, if I'm seating the primers all the way, I get some tool head tilt, and unfortunately, what that does, if you have like an expander on the press, is it'll expand the brass at an angle. So then I'll get like a bunch of rounds that fail because they're not concentric anymore. They just like the fucking bullets in their crooked, all Peroni style. So doing it 3-pass.
We're shooting pistols at 10, 15, 20 yards. That doesn't need to fly right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's in there so crooked it won't chamber.
That's why you shoot a Glock.
Yeah.
It won't chamber the Glock either.
Okay.
That's impressive.
That's when you get a high point and just say, fuck it.
Yeah, I just go out there with a hammer and a nail and just hold the ammo.
That is Austin level of stupidity right there, that you were able to manage that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, you know, a wise man would send the press back to Dillon to get rebuilt, but I'm not a wise man, and at any rate, it is a way more enjoyable experience doing the 3-pass. You know, I can run it's a Mark 7 that I've got running this thing. I can run it on a way lower torque setting, so the press is way more sensitive to bad brass being on the shell plate.
Okay.
You know, in my processing pass now, it'll catch stepped cases, it'll catch 380, so all of the bad brass kind of gets filtered off before it even gets to the priming pass. And by the time I get to the priming pass, you know, I mean, you can just run the thing at max speed and it'll just shove primers in. And then at the loading pass, you know, you can turn it up quite a bit more, and the only thing it'll shut off for is you're out of bullets or out of brass.
Okay.
So
right now I have a Mark 7 press and motor. I run at about 1,800 rounds an hour. 380s don't feed at all, and step cases will stop on my they'll stop whenever I'm going to prime, because that's where I also size. So, yeah, I run about 1,800 in one swipe on mine. Aaron, are you still pulling a lever, or you have a motor?
Oh yeah. No, yeah, I'm running a 10 or 12-year-old 650.
Oof.
Hell yeah.
But I mean, I only go through like maybe 2,000 to 3,000 rounds a year at this point. So,
How?
as much
that's
as
like that's like me, just shooting Tuesday nights. I go through about 5,000 rounds.
You have seen me shoot.
I know. That's why I'm surprised you only shoot 3,000 rounds. You missed that many times.
Yeah, I was about to say I gotta automate the press just because I can't hit steel. I was gonna tear my rotator cuff out.
Yeah, the steel moves as much as your open gun. It doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would love
and do you know what will help you with that? If you have Adam Grimm class up in Canton, South Dakota, April 24th and 25th at grimtech.com. You can sign up.
Yeah, I heard you could sign up on grimtech.com. Adam Grimm, good shooter. Famously won Race Gun Nationals with a duty gun.
his second year shooting
too.
His second year shooting. That's right.
Yeah.
The kid's a natural.
Yeah, it was his third or fourth major, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, third major. He won Area 3. So definitely a good dude to learn from if you're up in the Canton area.
Yep. April 24th, 25th. Speaking of
Grimtech.com.
dates,
Sign up.
Yeah, speaking of dates, Northwoods, May 2nd and May 3rd. First place payouts start at 1K each for CO and LO. If they were combined, it'd probably be a 2K payout. There are 4 half-day squads. Yeah. There are 4 half-day squads. The rest are single days. What are your thoughts on half-day squads? Because I'm assuming it's 10, 12 stages, something like that.
I have no idea how many stages it is. I don't mind half-day squads, especially if I'm like traveling somewhere where there's like some pretty scenery. It's nice having like an afternoon off to go hike around or drown your sorrows in the Airbnb and high noons and I guess eggs.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with half-day squads. I think shooting if it's I don't want to do more than 10 stages in a single day. It feels like work.
Start to get rough. It does start to get rough after 10. I know there's a couple of us going to Rushmore up there in where's that?
Rapids City.
Rapids. Thank you. Yeah.
In the Black
driving.
Hills.
Yeah, Black Hills. We're driving half the way to Sioux Falls on Friday after work, finishing on Saturday. Go ahead and walk Saturday, shoot Sunday, and then start driving back and stopping in Sioux Falls on the way back. So that's going to be a nice long day for the Rushmore State Championship, and that's July 11th and 12th.
Excellent. I can't remember if I signed up for that. I think I did. I'll have to double check that. But I really like that range up there, and the scenery is just beautiful. Like it's a very pretty range and a very pretty part of the country.
Yeah,
so if you're thinking about
it is an absolutely incredible facility to go to.
Yep,
absolutely.
And Bruce and all of those guys up there, they absolutely killed it with Area 3 last year. Great group of guys to go hang out with and shoot with.
And you can dry fire while you take a shit because there's a safe area in the bathroom.
Just hold in ammunition. Or do. No one will be there.
Nobody will know.
To see you.
Hey, what happens in the vault toilets stays in the vault toilets.
Yeah, if you torch one off in the vault toilets, there's nobody there to know. That stays between you and the gremlin.
Is that going to be? That's a very good information. Is that something you're going to be talking about in your new training company and podcast?
That's right. We will talk exclusively about how to stay ready in the shitter. If you are, handling your business, you got to stay ready. These streets are hot. There could be, at any moment, you could be subject to an IDPA stage brief. So you got to be able to load and make ready while you're unloading and
Making ready.
making ready. Yeah.
Speaking of staying ready, PCSL Belt Championship May 17th at Mission 160 Range in Texas.
Speaking of the belt championship, I have a personal belt bounty to put out there. A dear friend of mine is shooting the PCSL Belt Championship from concealment with a Zermatt Arms Waltz 9. So for everybody that beats him at the Belt Championship, I'll give you a sticker. Okay, so if you can show me that you beat him with his certified SoFlat gun, I'll give you a cool sticker.
So that is May 17th. June 6, 7, Great Plains Sectional.
Why did you say that, you fucking asshole?
Yeah, so registration's now open. I'm actually gonna be up there. That's gonna be my next major, and the last time I'm going to be shooting a major as a single guy. I'm getting married the week after that. How stupid am I?
Oh, I forgot you were getting married the week after.
Yeah, a week after that.
Congratulations! You'll be shooting for 2.
I'm already shooting for 2. You've seen how fat I am. So yeah, that's June 6, 7. Cornhusker Classic. June 27, 28. Sunday's currently sold out. So
that's right.
Tell me why Sunday is a much better time to shoot than a Saturday.
Well, it's where all the it's the main match. You don't want to shoot with staff. There's nobody good shooting on staff day. Not a single good person is shooting on staff day. Not a single person is good at shooting on staff day.
So Nick, you're shooting on staff day, is what you're saying?
I am, and so is Steven.
Okay.
Yeah. But hey, we know from experience that Steven is going to finish like mid-tier. I might actually beat him, just because he's shooting on staff day. So all of his good abilities are just gone.
Sapped.
Well, it's Steven. And whenever he goes to a major, he shits
It's Steven at a major match, yeah, and he's probably going to, fall down. There's probably going to be some great ass picks coming out of it, and he's going to, miss out just because he did something stupid.
Now, I will say, if you are going to the Cornhusker Classic, you'll be in for a treat. We got some new activated targets in today, and they are all assembled and working. So no more weird, wonky swingers.
Is one of them a swinging steel?
Yes, we have a swinging steel plate now. We've got a bunch of stomp pads that we'll use in place of having the swingers, the steel poppers pull a cable. That way, every activator sequence is super consistent and quick and reliable.
And it's on you on when you want to engage it or activate it. It's not dependent on a slow steel or having to double a popper or something like that. It's on you.
That's right. The popper will have to be all the way down, and then it's like a near instantaneous activation once the popper hits that stomp pad. Super, super happy with that stuff. So Targets USA, check them out. Make an excellent product.
I've never bought anything from them, but that may have to change in the upcoming years.
We've gotten a few of their things out at Heartland in the last year or two. The manager of the range, he knows some of the people in charge, and we've gotten some of their stuff, and it's nice. It works really well. We've got a few other things we're going to be getting, I think, later this year before Zombie. But yeah, it works really nicely. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Minnesota section, August 29th, 30th at Forest Lake.
That's a good match. If you've never been, that is an
I've
excellent
never been.
match.
Never been.
Timmy is an excellent match director and an excellent stage designer. He'll drive
Yes, he
around the
is.
whole match, tossing snacks at you and water. And then, it's just a good time. Good time. Technical stages, always. So, yeah, go to matches. Go to all these matches. If you're listening to this, go to every match. All at once.
All the same weekend, just drive through them all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Quit your job. Shoot full time.
You don't need money for this.
No.
So speaking of shooting, and I kind of spoke about tendonitis and stuff like that. What's bothering you with your shooting right now? Like, is it like physical stuff? Is it gun handling, accuracy? What's bothering you about your shooting?
I shot race gun nats, and that was my first national match. And as far as like the points go, like I shot pretty decent points throughout that match, but the time really suffered because I just am not capable of shooting it right the first time. So just lost a ton of time to steel makeups, a second pass on swingers, paper makeups, stuff like that. So I've really been trying to both speed up, moving the gun around, get that nice aggressive execution, but also just fundamentally getting better at shooting. And part of that is just I'm just so fucking tense all the time. And I'm not saying you have to be totally relaxed. Like there's a certain amount of firing hand tension you need to control the gun, and there's a certain amount of shoulder tension you need to stop the gun when you swing it around quickly. But the line between too much and too little is just it's so narrow, and I am just having a hell of a time trying to find that. So that's what bothers me about my shooting, is that it's hard. Shooting is hard.
Shooting is easy yet hard. The bullet goes exactly where the barrel was pointed when you pull the trigger.
I wish the bullet would go somewhere other than where the sights were, because the sights weren't on the target. So it would be really cool if the bullet would hit the target.
Yeah. My issue right now, besides the physical stuff with tinnitus, is I shoot a bunch of indoor throughout the winter, so basically everything's point shooting. And whenever I go outside, I have to realize that this is no longer TEMU USPSA. It's actually the good thing, the all proper shooting outside USPSA, and targets are farther than 5 or 6 yards, and I actually need to put the dot where I want the damn thing to go. I can't just point shoot, and every spring I always have an issue making that conversion back to outdoors.
You know what I heard will help with that sort of just being better at shooting? An MK or an MW activewear jersey is what I heard helps the most with getting good at shooting.
I bet you I'll also help you relax because you'll be in the finest jerseys.
You're right. It'll feel so nice on my shoulders that I can't be tense. Mm-hmm. So, Michelle, hit up Michelle for a jersey. It'll make you better at shooting.
Absolutely. Aaron, what about you? What's bothering you about your shooting or lack of shooting since you shoot 3,000 rounds a year?
Well, apparently, I'm the only person in the world who can trigger freeze a Shadow 2. That was made very evident last weekend.
No, I've done it.
Two people now.
According to Steven, it's impossible to trigger freeze on a Shadow 2. But when he was talking about that, as soon as I shot the stage, 10 seconds after he made that comment, I had trigger freeze on all 16 targets of that stage.
Ooh.
And yeah,
How can you I understand 1 or 2, 16.
this is what happens.
I've actually trigger froze with Attack Sport, so
I mean, I've
I
trigger
get
froze with my 2011 that has a 1 pound 12-ounce trigger, I think, is in it. But yeah,
but trigger freeze
on
isn't
every
about
target.
the poundage. It's not about the poundage. It's about the
Not
tension
having
in
an
your firing hand. Go ahead.
No. Trigger freeze is all about not having an MW Activewear jersey. Actually,
No, I think it's more the fact that was the first time that I shot that gun since October of last year. October? No. Did I shoot that in October? Well, whenever it was, that was the second time since I went to Omaha to shoot their match in October. So yeah,
should have
before
taken
that
that.
match,
You should have taken it to the dark match last November.
I had something going on that weekend. I don't remember what it was, but I was out of town for some reason.
Not at the dark
Was it?
match.
Yeah, not at the dark match. Not at the dark match. It was at some family thing, which, Owen is supposedly having so much more fun with than enjoying the evening with us right now.
Families. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I mean, more serious note, what's bothering you with my shooting? I don't know. Nothing? I was serious about USPSA years ago and, doing great and moving up and whatever, and it's just gotten to the point the last couple of years that, it's like a Thursday night bowling league for me. I'm going out to hang out with my friends because that's about the only time I get to see any of you guys, but
Social hour.
yeah, and that's what it is. And make fun of all you assholes and have a good time. And I do a great job of providing the comedic entertainment because I completely fuck up most stages I shoot. When Craig is involved and decides to put a stomp pad right in the middle of the fucking shooting area, it just makes it that much better for everyone else around.
I forgot about that. Oh, man. You were the second one that fell that day.
Yes. Well, no, I was the second one who fell on that the entire match. I was only the second person. Mm-hmm. Fortunately for me, I was, and unfortunate for the other guy, I was not the one that DQ'd.
Right. Yeah.
But,
that
it's
was
always
a bad design from my side. I should have had on the outside of the shooting area.
Finally admit it.
Oh, yeah. As soon as the first guy went down, I was like, "Oh, that was my bad." Yeah.
No, I think that entire situation was just so funny because that was the first match I had with my brand new jersey from Michelle, and I get to your stage, and you're like, "Your shirt's so clean." Like, there's no dirt on it. You need to scuff it up. And then I eat shit. And I stand up and everyone's just like, yeah, great job. Good safety. That was awesome. I'm like, God damn it, Craig. And you're like, what? Because you didn't even see it. You were turned around. He was just like, why is your shirt all dirty? Fuck you, Craig.
I bet you looked really cool falling in an MW Activewear jersey. I bet you would have looked way less cool if you weren't in an MW Activewear jersey.
Oh, the fall was absolutely glorious.
It was epic. The slow motion of it was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I slowed that down real slow, too, to try and figure out exactly what happened with it.
Bad stage design by Craig Oakenfoos.
I'm gonna put that as number one. Number two is the lugs on Solomon's. Do a great. Or no, I wasn't wearing Solomon's. I was cleats. Yeah, I was wearing cleats. Lugs on cleats. Make sure you step up half an inch further, because that's all it took was that lug just barely catching the top of it and launching my foot right into my other ankle.
Yep. Well, on that, he's Nick O'Connell, and he's Aaron Hankey. I'm Craig McPoose, and this was Not Another Shooting Show.